Hey everyone, it's Audrey back again with one of God's So That moments in Scripture. Now, today's So That moments has to do with losing your donkeys. Now, I know that sounds funny and crazy, and I'm sure a lot of you out there that don't have donkeys that get lost, but just imagine that you have lost keys, or maybe you've lost your wallet, or you've lost your purse, or you've lost something and you can't find it and you're frantically looking around for it. Could that be part of a bigger plan that God has for you? That's what we're going to discuss today. Let me set the stage for you. We're going to be in 1 Samuel 8 and 9, and it's the story about Samuel, which is the prophet and judge in Israel at the time, and Saul, which becomes the first king to Israel. Now, back in those days, up until this point, all Israel had was prophets and judges, and they heard from God, and then they relayed back what God had to say to them, okay? But here we have all these Israelites that were looking at other nations and other kingdoms, and they all had kings. Well, Samuel, which was, like I said, a prophet and a judge, his sons were not doing so well. They were walking in evil and sin, and they were taking bribes, and they were perverse, and they just weren't walking in the ways of God. And so the Israelites came to Samuel and said, okay, look, enough is enough. Your sons are not following in the ways of the Lord like you are. And all these other kingdoms have kings. So we want a king. So in 1 Samuel 8:5, they say, now appoint for us a king to judge us like all the nations. Of course, Samuel is heartbroken and he goes back to God and this is just me paraphrasing, follow along in scripture, but he's going back to God and he's like really disappointed in everything. And this is what God tells him. He says, they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from being king over them. Okay, that's in 1 Samuel 8:7. Even in their rebellion and not wanting God to, operate and speak through the prophet, God was still faithful and he still had a plan and a purpose. Well, that plan and purpose just happened to be Saul. So now there's 12 tribes of Israel, and the smallest of those tribes is Benjamin. Saul is part of the tribe of Benjamin, and the donkeys, his father's donkeys, got lost. So Saul goes out and him and his servant are looking all over for his father's donkeys. They go to like 3 different cities, and Saul decides, you know what? We need to go back home because my dad is not going to be worried about the donkeys anymore. He's going to be worried about me. Back in those days, Saul couldn't call up his dad and say, hey, Dad, it's been a little while and I haven't found the donkeys. Okay. But his servant goes, wait a minute, we're in a city or a town that the prophet is in. And now back then they called the prophet a seer. And so he said, let's go find out from the prophet, the seer, what's going on, like what's going on with our journey. Okay. And so Saul's like, okay, let's do it. Well, the prophet, the seer, is Samuel. But here's the cool thing. In 1 Samuel 9:15, it says, the day before Saul came, the Lord had told Samuel, about this time tomorrow, I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin. Appoint him to lead my people Israel. He will save my people from the Philistines. I have seen the suffering of my people and I have listened to their cry. So God already chose Saul to be king. And he let Samuel, the prophet, know, hey, this time tomorrow, this young man from the tribe of Benjamin is going to come your way. He's the one that I'm going to appoint king over the Israelites, since they want this king. So that kind of sets the stage for here's Saul looking for the donkeys. His servant says there's a prophet in this town, city, that we can go and ask him what is of this journey of ours, what's going on with it. But Samuel was told the night before that this young man is going to be seeing you. That's the stage. Now, the donkeys are lost at the exact moment that they need to be. Saul went through the different towns looking for his donkeys. And at this appointed time in scripture, here's Samuel where he needs to be, and here's Saul looking for Samuel. And then they meet up, and Saul approaches Samuel. So this is in 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 18. Saul approached Samuel at the gate and said, please tell me where the seer's house is. Samuel answered, I am the seer. Go with me to the place of worship. Today, you and your servant are to eat with me. Tomorrow morning, I will answer all your questions and send you home. Here's the God so that moment, though. Verse 20. Don't worry about the donkeys you lost 3 days ago, because they have been found. Soon, all the wealth of Israel will belong to you and your family. So have you ever had those moments where you've lost a set of keys? Maybe you've lost your wallet. Maybe you lost, something of importance to you, right? And you're scurrying around and you're like, I can't believe I lost this. Like, God, where is it? What is going on? Maybe you're feeling frustrated and it's such a huge inconvenience and you're getting upset and you're getting angry or maybe you're getting fearful, right? And I'm sure that Saul was probably kind of feeling that, like, okay, well, like I lost the donkeys. I can't find these donkeys and everything. I don't want my dad to start worrying about me. All of these things going on. Yet this was a divine appointment for Saul. And all of that happened so that the story could line up. You see, God so that moments are those moments in our life that in the midst of it, it can be so devastating to us. It can be hurtful. It can be frustrating. It can be just in those moments where we're not understanding, God, what are you doing? This cannot be your will for my life. This can't be your will for the lives of my family and those that are walking with you. And we cry out in despair, in fear, in all of the feelings and emotions. And all along, God is whispering, my child, it's for your good and for my glory. And so in those moments that you are crying out to God, remember, it's part of God's so that moments. These so that moments are moments that God allows, God ordains. Maybe it's from what we've done or decisions that we've made. Whatever it is, God always will turn it around for our good and for his glory. And so I just want to encourage you, if you are in that season of maybe feeling lost, maybe you yourself are feeling lost, maybe you've lost something, maybe there's frustration in your life, just settle your soul. Spend time with him and ask him for strength to get through this, but that he can show you what's going on. Like that after the storm, that you're going to be able to look back and you're going to be able to see, wow, that was that moment. Because if it hadn't happened, I wouldn't be on this other side. And so just want to encourage you, keep the faith, keep your eyes on Jesus, and just know that I promise you, it's going to turn out for your good and for his glory. Okay, until the next God Sow That moment, y'all be blessed. Talk to you later. Bye.